Asterisk, asterisk, the haunting of Briarwood Cemetery, asterisk, asterisk. On the outskirts of a small town lay Briarwood Cemetery, a sprawling, overgrown graveyard that had been abandoned for decades. The locals avoided the place, especially at night, for they believed it was haunted by the spirit of a gravekeeper named Henry. Henry had been the caretaker of Briarwood Cemetery for most of his life. He was known for his meticulous care of the graves and his deep respect for the departed. But one fateful night, a terrible storm struck the town, and Henry was found dead among the tombstones, his face etched with terror. Since then, his ghost was said to wander the cemetery, forever guarding the resting places of the dead. One evening, a young journalist named Emma arrived in town. She had heard the eerie tales of Briarwood Cemetery and was determined to uncover the truth. Armed with a notebook, a camera, and a flashlight, she set out for the cemetery as the sun began to set. The cemetery was eerily quiet, the only sound the rustling of leaves in the wind. Emma pushed open the rusty gate and stepped inside, her flashlight casting long shadows on the weathered tombstones. She walked slowly, taking notes and photographs, feeling a chill in the air that seemed to grow stronger the deeper she went. As she approached an old, crumbling mausoleum, Emma noticed a faint, ghostly figure standing among the graves. It was Henry, his form translucent and his eyes filled with an unearthly glow. Emma's heart pounded, but she steeled herself and called out, "Henry, can you hear me?" The ghostly figure turned to face her, his expression one of sorrow and determination. "Why are you here?" he asked, his voice echoing through the stillness. Emma stepped closer, her flashlight trembling in her hand. "I'm here to understand your story," she replied. "Why do you haunt this place?" Henry's eyes softened, and he began to speak. "I was the caretaker of this cemetery, and I took pride in my work. But on the night of the storm, something terrible happened. The dead were restless, and I tried to calm them. In my attempt, I angered a malevolent spirit, and it took my life. Now I'm trapped here, protecting the graves from its wrath." Emma listened intently, her curiosity piqued. "Is there a way to free you from this place?" Henry's ghost seemed to flicker with a glimmer of hope. "The spirit that haunts this cemetery must be appeased. There is a relic, a locket, buried with the spirit in an unmarked grave. If you find it and place it in the mausoleum, the spirit may be calmed, and I can finally rest." Determined to help, Emma spent the next few hours searching the cemetery. She finally found an unmarked grave overgrown with vines. Digging carefully, she uncovered a small, tarnished locket. She took it to the mausoleum, where Henry's ghost awaited. With a deep breath, Emma placed the locket on the stone altar inside the mausoleum. As she did, a cold wind swept through the cemetery, and the air seemed to shimmer. Henry's ghost appeared beside her, his expression one of relief. "Thank you," he whispered. "You have freed me from my eternal vigil." As Henry's spirit began to fade, Emma felt a sense of peace wash over the cemetery. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the night seemed a little brighter. The malevolent spirit had been appeased, and Henry was finally at rest. Emma left Briarwood Cemetery with a sense of accomplishment. She wrote an article about her experience, sharing the story of Henry's dedication and the haunting that had plagued the cemetery. The tale of Briarwood Cemetery became a symbol of the enduring power of respect and care for the departed. From that day forward, Briarwood Cemetery was no longer a place of fear, but one of quiet reflection and remembrance. The townspeople began to visit again, paying their respects to those who had passed, and honoring the memory of the gravekeeper who had watched over them for so long.